Hi, I'm Jade Brennan from HawkBuster, and today I'm going to be doing a movie review on the 2016 film Hush. So right away when I was looking through Netflix, this movie caught my attention because the director is Mike Flanagan, who directed other famous movies such as Ouija, Origin of Evil, Oculus, and other thriller films. Now our two main characters include John Gallagher Jr., who plays our killer, and Kate Siegel, who plays Maddie, the protagonist, who's actually dating the director in real life. So in Hush, Maddie is our protagonist, and she decides to live in the woods by herself because she's an author, and she just wants to live a life kind of secluded and away from everybody else. So every day she writes and she works on her book. The only catch is though that she's both deaf and mute, which means she can't speak or talk, which kind of makes me wonder why she'd want to move in the woods alone in the first place when she knows that literally anything can go wrong at any second. She's just writing her book every single day, she's enjoying her life, until one night when she's working on it, she notices that there's a man outside of her door. It actually all started when she was typing on her computer and then she gets this text message, and when she looks outside she realizes that somebody has been there the whole time and taking pictures of her. At first our killer doesn't just come inside and try to kill Maddie. He sort of tries to play some games with her. He stands right outside of her door and through her windows, and since she can't hear, he's able to move around in different spots without her knowing, which obviously messes with her mind. It was actually kind of aggravating at some parts in the movie because Maddie, she comes up with all these plans and kind of outsmarts the killer, but then the killer comes up with like an even better plan to outsmart her. So basically the two just go back and forth and it's one giant game of cat and mouse. It's very interesting to see the ways that she comes up to try to escape the killer. She's very intelligent and quick. So when I first heard this movie, I thought, oh, it's probably just one of those other Netflix films that has blood and gore in it. But actually, there was kind of like this nail-biting twist to it that kept me at the edge of my seat the whole time. And there was some jump scares to it, but it wasn't like expected. When they happened, I didn't know that they were coming. Overall, I think the cinematography was actually pretty good, especially when they had to film the scenes where the lights go out, so it was very dark, but you could still see the characters visibly. And the storyline and characters were very well developed. I knew everything that was happening throughout every single point in the film, but the thing that impressed me the most was definitely the acting. The emotions of the characters were real and there, and since there was not a lot of dialogue, I feel like they were actually more there than other films because that was the only way for them to tell the story. Like for example, in the first scene when Maddie's on her phone and she gets the text from the killer, she looks out the window and you can see how appalled she is. The movie in general is kind of cliche and it has those typical horror film parts. But since the film has roughly 90% no dialogue, it was very different from most other films that I've seen. And there are some parts where you think that you definitely know what's going to happen, and then the plot just completely changes and you're like, where did this come from? Overall, the movie is pretty intense, and after watching it, I was actually scared, and now I don't trust my sliding door outside. I give this movie probably a 9 out of 10, and I think it was probably one of the best horror films that I've ever seen. To see more movie reviews, subscribe to this channel and go to WRHS TV.